And after a quite surprising getaway in race one, we shall have to see if that happens again for the afternoon evening slot on the calendar in Interlagos. Race two of World Super Touring Season 4. Palou is on pole, having finished 10th. Lammers was eventually 9th, having been overtaken by Alex Ingram, so they are for second and third respectively. Renault on the 5th row on the grid, 9th and 10th. This is Adrian Michael Rees alongside me, Michael Swinnerton. We're kind of, almost expecting the inevitable to happen, but there still might be a couple of things to surprise us.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we saw Renault come charging up through the grid to take a 1-2 race one, so I'm kind of slightly terrified that that's going to happen again. But, we'll see what Ingram can do from third place with his brand new Volvo. You've got Webber in fourth there that will get a very good jump off the line. So who's to say?
Same point structure as well, so 30 points for Gasho and of course fastest lap as well, 32. But with it being another rear-wheel drive display, that was a poor getaway from Ingram, and it looks like the Alphas
Volvo just
got balked by that.
Down. Whoa,
Palou, we should have expected that. We saw him do that a number of occasions in the previous race, and it's almost a BMW 1-2 from out of nowhere.
Yeah, Schneider got a very good start from her grid position, but hello Ingram, where did you come from?
After bogging down at the start, this is almost making up for it, but Lammers down the inside. That's a little bit naughty from the Dutchman.
He's not managed to make it stick though. Ingram now having a look at Palou for second.
Swarm heads from Dolago through Ferradura. Palou back up to second.
For now, but he keeps going sideways. He's not going to hold on to second for long if the car keeps doing that. This is allowing Webber to get away though.
Well. I'm sure they would have put the work in to stop that from happening.
Yeah, but it's not an exact science. Not everybody has cracked the code yet. I mean, Ingram's car seems a bit more stable, but that might be because he's changing his driving style up to accommodate for it. Hasn't found a way around the Ford just yet.
Fisichella here's white.
A bit of a momentum.
So does this Volvo have the power that the Ford hasn't?
Well, he's keeping up with it for now. God, listen to that high pitch.
There we go.
It's like an elephant blowing its trunk, that car.
Right there, right then.
Whoosh.
Rewind if you don't want to. If you wanted to check.
Into the braking zone. Palou got him under braking.
Renault about to railroad a Honda. Never mind. There goes the other Ford of Salo.
These two still haven't worked it out.
Meanwhile, Webber is gone.
This has allowed Webber to get a couple of seconds up the road.
Schneider possibly going on for Palou, but they are causing all sorts of mayhem amongst themselves.
Horribly there.
Wide went Lammers at the top of the City de Lago, and the traffic jam still rages on.
Yeah, Ingram can get himself in front of Palou, and then we get to the next heavy braking zone, and Palou just dives it. The Ford seems to be better on the brakes than the Volvo, but it's just causing this traffic jam.
I wonder what that's doing to the tyres. New as they are, new formula as they are. Aiello already up to 5th.
Ironically, it might be making the tyres wear evenly on all four corners of the car instead of it just destroying the fronts.
And I think Aiello's about to take 4th from. Schneider's still there, but Young Cow coming up.
Here comes
Aiello with all the power in the world compared to the BMW.
And the stability on the braking.
Well.
Round the outside? Are you serious?
Maybe not. Well, Gasho managed to pull it off almost. There's Lammers down the inside, though.
Bloody hell. So he did.
Language. Aiello and Schneider still fighting for it, but there's Gasho now 6th. And
around the outside again. He's going to make it stick this time.
I just forgot it. I was exasperated because it's the second lap, so for the first flying lap, so I shouldn't be surprised it's 6 seconds a lap faster than the lap where you come off the line. Foolish boy.
Meanwhile, this fight for second is still not over.
Palou and Ingram still raging on. Delago.
Ingram now cleared in front. We'll see if he can hold this position or whether Palou's going to send another dive bomb to try and take it back. Although Palou's got to be careful because there's an Aiello rapidly closing in.
I mean, if he's in a position to have another massive slide on. Not there, though.
Crucially, look who everybody has caught. Webber's lead has been cut down completely. He's right there, and here goes Ingram for the lead. Hello, Palou.
Palou again. Goodbye, Palou.
Really thought Aiello was going to slip through there, but he didn't. So the Ford still third for now. Don't know how long that's going to hold on for.
Everyone in Sweden will be celebrating the moment Ingram's Volvo manages to get ahead of Webber
if he can do it
at the end of the straight.
He's going to be careful not to get dive bombed by Palou again, as has happened quite a few times now. Right, he's got the run on Webber, goes down the inside.
And
there is just about a car's width for a potential dive bomb. Ooh, look how early! He's got to get on the brakes though.
And then railroaded by Renault and position lost to Palou.
Once again. So the Volvo's got the speed, it just... I think Ingram is deliberately braking softer and earlier to stop the giant drifteroos.
Possibly.
So where he's gaining stability and traction out of the corner, he's sacrificing it all in the braking zones.
And that's a risk for the guys behind then, because it's almost like he's I mean,
he's not deliberately brake checking, but I see what you're saying. He's catching them all out, and they're all tripping over each other. Because we can see Ingram does have the pace to keep up with everybody. And there he is in the lead. How did you do that?
So Ferradura, momentum, managing not to lose the car like Palou seems to want to do, but physics won't let him. No matter how hard he tries.
Hey! Hello, Palou.
Oh,
he's trying, bless him. He's trying. Despite that Ford not behaving, he's desperately trying.
So enough of a gap now for Ingram to sort of be comfortable on for the time being, but
we'll
Renault to third this early. 3/4 of the race complete. Gasho's got the power on again. That is.
Yep, I think here comes Gasho.
Webber with a good lap.
Oh my God!
Down the inside of both of them. Are you kidding me?
You got a 2-for-1 deal.
It's only race 2. How do we get the move of the season this early?
Yeah.
Well, obviously we saw Ingram. Swinny mentioned it earlier. The braking early to sort of avoid any ill handling has led to this moment, and that could be an excuse to use for denouncing Gasho's best overtake in the championship.
And Palou with a slide job on Jamie Webber there. That was very well done.
Ingram back ahead in the lead.
Ingram's back in the lead.
And
the lead is very much
thankfully the sun is bright enough, so we're not really confusing the two colour schemes here. The blue, the yellow, the white is doing a good job, and of course slightly different shaped car. Obviously Renault won't build a Volvo and vice versa.
The Volvo has a slightly longer wheelbase. It does seem that the lead is a bit of a hot potato in this race. Nobody really wants it for more than a lap. Though I dare say, if and when Gasho takes the lead, that'll become a little bit more solidified. And somehow out of all of this, Nico Wirtz has the fastest lap.
And he's in the midfield.
11th.
Yes. No matter how hot that potato is, I think Gasho's going to keep that in his mouth for the duration, no matter what it makes him sound like.
He'll have his jacket potato and eat it. There he goes. Made it look easy. We know that the Volvo is not a happy boy on its brakes, so it's not like he's going to get any kind of rebuttal from Ingram into turn 1 here. So that is probably...
There's the 43's broken into by about 7/10 from the previous race.
There we go. And there goes
so unless Nico Verge manages to get another quick one, I think the traffic is on the number on that. It's already past the line there. Aiello up to third.
Palou got another slide on into turn 1 and Aiello just capitalised on it.
Dare I say, it's going to happen. There we go.
A little bit. He fought it that time.
A little bit. The two BMWs, 5th and 6th. The two Hondas, 7th and 8th. Alpha, that's Fisichella, 9th with Salo 10th. Wittmann down to 12th, so we're not seeing symmetry or repetitiveness further back.
We know that Wittmann has the speed, but obviously she's probably struggling with the traffic, as we've known that Alpha to do on occasion. Although she's not careful, she's going to get overtaken by Ekstrom here, who's managed to make up a position from his 14th starting spot. Picking up points, it's what Volvo needs.
Still a consistent crocodile. There's no real traffic jam, there's no breakaways. Kubica's still got a decent... Yeah, there was no bailing out towards the end, but we kind of pointed out that with 5 to go, not there yet, wide goes Ingram on one of the faster sections, trying to perhaps maintain some level of grip there. Palou now has Webber to deal with.
I wonder how long Palou can make that car a very wide boy focus and keep the BMW behind him. Though, you know, with all of his drift jobs, he is quite literally making it wider by presenting his door panel to the BMW rather than his boot lid.
Moving the silky precision of a crab.
Aiello reeling
Wide
in Ingram.
goes Ingram.
Ingram is all that stands between another Renault 1-2. And can Gasho do a first in Super Touring history and get a double race win in one round?
Never happened in World Super Touring. And unless I actually have a thorough look at the stats later, I don't think it really happened in the Euros either.
No, I believe Kubica got close, but I'm pretty sure it's never happened. The top 10 reverse grid has very much done its job there.
So the neutrals of the audience will want Ingram to be the widest Volvo and Focus going. You might want to get a leaf out of Palou's copybook shortly.
Keeping it nice and smooth and controlled through the corner there.
And there's the gap. Nothing behind them.
Though we know how tentative Ingram is being on his brakes. So even though Aiello's quite far back here, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a very, very late from miles away dive bomb appear. Oh, he gained ground, but not enough to make a move.
Yeah, still status quo maintained. Niki Lauda's up to 8th. There goes Palou and Webber. I think Webber's going to get this. If
Webber's getting a bit impatient there. I think he just gave Palou a little hip check there.
Position's got to be gone now. I think.
Now, how late is Palou going to brake, and how much of a slide is he going to have?
Where is he going to protect? Palou's going to do the same thing he's done so before. Bit
there
more
he goes.
Stable this okay. And then wake up call from Webber there. That's what you get for slowing me down. Thompson 6th.
I'm not sure Webber had anywhere to go, but your statement does stand. Palou is having to overdrive that Ford just to keep up with these boys up here. And again, we saw flashes of speed from Ford, especially in the second half of the season last year, with a few race wins here and there. But they've still got a lot to work out with that car, and it is getting on a bit. That Focus. It's not the newest thing on the grid.
And far as touring car repertoire goes, there's nothing really to replace it in either front or rear wheel drive that sort of fits the same scheme. Yes, we know the Mustang exists, but it's going to be sticking out like a sore thumb if it does.
Well, it's also completely not allowed with its 8 cylinders.
Exactly. Aiello and
Around the
Ingram
outside.
side by side.
Ingram says
And
no
Ingram
to that.
Still saying no. 5 to go, 4.5 to go if you think about it.
Ingram is doing a very good job here.
We wait with bated breath for Aiello to overtake Ingram.
To have another go at least. Meanwhile,
And
this
then
isn't
Palou and
finished.
Webber.
Palou's got himself back in front of the BMW.
Jason Thompson closing in, as is Sophia Schneider, as is Nicky Lammers. Fisichella down to 9th, Wirtz up to 10th, Ekstrom 13th. Good day for Volvo nonetheless, so no matter where that Volvo up top finishes now, it's a good day for them, good debut for them.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed for their first ever race. Both cars in the points for, so far, both races. Barring any disasters, of course, and I do not want to put the commentator's curse on them.
We tick the laps off. Here's some action in the midfield. Here's the leaders.
And amongst all of that, Ingram has now managed to catch Gasho. So that huge lead that Mark had has rapidly diminished.
So Ingram might just actually, with four to go.
Yeah, Ingram can now be the aggressor by the looks of things on the Renault, instead of the defendant. Because Aiello has dropped off the back, so this is now the race for the lead. Gasho going defensive.
This I did not expect.
I don't think anybody expected this. A Volvo to try for a win on its first day. And there he is. Job done. Hello, Gasho. What did you do there?
We'll have to rewind that because I was totally distracted. So that.
So he's gone
defending the
defensive.
lead from Ingram.
And just,
That
oh,
is
the back end
completely
just
off.
came around from him. That's quite the rallycross line. Well, Gasho has done his Joker lap, that's for certain. Don't know why
And
he
then
came to a
parked up.
complete stop.
Of all the drivers to do that, we expected Palou to do that. He's closing in. No, he isn't. He's going to be just going into Decido del Lago now. There he is.
This scrum
Pulling up
is
a
still
traffic
happening
jam.
with them all trapping over each other. But that now means there is a Volvo in the lead. With a bit of a gap to Aiello, but Aiello is still there. That's still the danger zone. Ingram's lead is not comfortable by any shape or form.
So the double won't be on for Gasho, but it'll still be on for Renault, all things considered. But Ingram can defend. It's just, will his car let him?
Yeah, with those brakes. It's now the battle of the yellow and blue for the lead. Sweden versus France.
And in a battle for the channel as well, in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. Who is paying for whose Eurostar ticket here?
Especially for the next trip to Brands Hatch.
Oh, Aiello right round the outside, clean too!
So
My
two
God, that didn't last
fantastic
very long.
moves this weekend.
Although Ingram not giving up, he's now on the outside, he's now hanging tough. Through the marbles, over the curb, onto the AstroTurf, shoving his way back onto the track. Into the next heavy braking zone. I think Aiello's probably going to send it up the inside again. There he goes. Ingram just gives him space. That was smart. Tried for a switchback. He's kind of there. With the switchback, he's done it. He's back in the lead. He's not giving this up.
So to summarise, a team we didn't expect in Renault to do so well, up against a team we didn't expect to do so well in their debut in the season for World Super Tourers, having a right old battle here with no one to take advantage of it unless something really stupid happens. I've been resisting you to say that almost all season last season. Gasho still in third. Palou and Thompson still battling for fourth. With the amount of traffic behind them, that's set to change. But Aiello now with a bit of a gap on.
Yeah, I think Aiello has now made this move stick, and with only essentially 2 laps to go, Ingram's going to have to do something really spectacular to try and get that lead back.
And Gasho's managed to cave a hefty chunk of lap time. I mean, not that previous lap, of course, but I'm assuming by the time he's across the line, that 139 will be eclipsed.
Yeah,
Because
Gasho.
he's had no one else to 40 seconds. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, he has got the track to himself, so he could just essentially run qualifying laps to really solidify his fastest lap bonus there. Because, of course, that is 2 extra bonus points. So, third with the fastest lap, that's still a good points haul. Hello, Palou, once again.
And that 4 seconds, 4 seconds off everyone's average. That's sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, he must have nailed the perfect lap there.
It's a hard one to gauge because you could blame the tyres, but the performance team might have to just have a check over this, because this was... Yes, you want to see him do well, but you want to see other teams sort of compete for that. Obviously they have, Volvo have, but there's enough of a gap to 4th place, Thompson, and one of the sort of constructors' favourites for this year. They've done so well last year behind the front-wheel drives, but that particular performance gap has now closed, so Honda should be favourites this year in terms of the teams, but it'll still be down to the drivers. But Gasho looks like he's going to be walking away from Brazil with the maximum points haul, or close to the maximum rather, fastest lap in hand. Aiello with enough of a gap on Ingram now to go across the line with 1 to go. There's Palou still soldiering on despite the amount of efforts his car threatens to slide off. Very clean through João.
Palou has done very, very well defending with an ill-handling car, considering he gets himself overtaken and then can somehow take those positions back, which is why we're now seeing this fight for 4th place between Palou and Thompson here. Webber has dropped off the back of them a little bit, just doing some formation flying with his teammate. Is Palou going to try for a dive bomb? And is he going to tandem drift his way past the Honda? Not this time. Bit of tappy tap on the back bumper,
perhaps.
But yeah.
Better look for Ford than it was last year, even if a win in Spain springs to mind.
And then Salo's couple of wins towards the end of the season.
Here's the final lap. Here's the last attempt into the braking area for Decidio del Lago. And there he goes again.
Yeah, that's killed your momentum, mate. You're going to have to be careful you don't end up with a BMW breathing down your neck again.
So, teams in the point still fighting off those to get some better ones at the end of the lap. Aiello and Ingram still within sight of each other as they head through João right now. We'll still focus on the midfield if we can.
Ekstrom's doing a very good job here, hounding Whitman and just keeping these ones honest. And Whitman is kind of stuck behind Salo in front because that Ford is also doing the same, has the same issues that Palou does.
So whilst Ekstrom's performed acceptably, Ingram's done exceptionally well, but not as much as Renault have this weekend, and that sort of solidifies that Aiello's win. If Gasho couldn't do it, despite being nigh on favourite for it, apart from just one bizarre episode. That's your top 3 from about the halfway mark. Thompson, the rest of the finishers then. Palou still ahead of Webber. Palou managing to spare Ford's blushes with all the handling in characteristics. Schneider 6th. And there's your top 10. And yeah, there was something quite not right about that. It wasn't really, not the most comfortable viewing considering how close the competition has been. There will be some level of review there. 'Cause I don't think that was just down to tyres. Um, my assumption was the weather earlier had kind of played havoc with the racing line, but that's probably just a flash in the pan. Now, by the time we get to the next race weekend, we should be able to ascertain more as to why teams couldn't quite cope with proceedings. Maybe it is the tyres. What do you reckon, Swinny?
I think it's a combination of multiple things. I think the tire compound is a big factor. The new tire compound, you can see it playing havoc with some teams. And then hand in hand with that, certain teams have adapted to the tire compound with their setups, and some haven't. That's also played a big factor. Renault have clearly put some upgrades in that car that I think the stewards are going to have to look over just as a precautionary thing. I don't think they're actually cheating, but the officials will want to give that car a once over just in case. And then I think the other thing we need to think about there, especially in race two, was Palou was doing his damnedest to keep up with everyone, and how hard he was fighting everybody allowed everybody in front just to get away. So part of it was just the natural order of what happens on a racetrack anyways. I think all of those factors combined is why we saw what we saw in Renault being nearly half a lap in front of everybody, despite Ingram's best attempts and Thompson's best attempts in race one.
You'd think if it was like, a different supplier like Michelin, we'd be clearly pointing the fingers at that. Goodyear are the providers of the championship tyre, so we cannot sort of assume or excuse that. That was a very odd weekend. Uh, Renault have overcompensated for a lack of trying, perhaps, and didn't expect. I mean, some of the crew were not expecting it to happen for race one. By the time the second race comes along, it's like, no, let's do what we do. We're going to win. It seemed fairly obvious. Volvo will be very happy with their display. Um, in and amongst the midfield already, despite the poor qualifying, and in and amongst the winners for race two as well. But everyone else will still be scratching their heads if the stewards find everything to be a-okay. And we shall see you soon for that. In the meantime, though, we were heading back to Japan for the second round of the Japanese Super Tours. We'll see you there. Good racing, everyone.